Hi, Dr. Bankhead here at the Struggle Inn. I wanted to share a little bit about myself today. I wanted to let you know I am a people pleaser. I like to please people. I was a staunch Bible believing, Bible toting Christian for 25 years, and that pleased my mother. I attended and graduated from law school and passed the bar, and that pleased my father. I attended the university and obtained my master's, and that pleased my mother, especially as the master's degree was in education. My mother always aspired to be a teacher, or so she said. My father, it turns out, always aspired to be a lawyer. I fulfilled their dreams. After their deaths, I decided it was long overdue for me to finally choose myself. That became a journey into self discovery. It's been quite a journey, and it's not over yet. In denouncing Christianity for numerous reasons, I came to realize my utter disdain for labels. Inherent in identifying myself with one particular belief is the distinction among others of your affiliation. In deciding to separate into one particular identity, a complete state of unity with individuals of another group becomes inconceivable. I espouse unity consciousness. Therefore, I am free to associate with whomever I choose. I came to realize and to recognize that there is a tendency for people to have a mental checklist of attributes suspected to belong as descriptions under certain labels. It's the power of the label. First, I acknowledge that most people are focused on what they consider to be appropriate morals and values. Speaking of morals and values, I came to realize my own personal realization that law as a profession is crooked at its core. The foundation of the laws, while presumed to be to ensure equity and protect against injustice, is void of the power of love. It is the core concern in society to uphold appropriate morals and values. It is for this reason the focus on religious groups and political affiliation have great importance in every nation. Imagine for a moment, what if the morals and values within a family unit outside of the influence of any government or religious organization was the same for every family around the globe? What would that look like? Do you require government to impose laws on how you determine the morals and values in your own home? Do you require a religious organization to teach you how to have a moral life with good values? And when you scrutinize the religious group to which you joined hands, are they examples of appropriate morals and core values? What about your political affiliation? In many instances, there are examples of corruption in religious groups and political groups, evidencing a lack of publicly acceptable morals and values. And yet, that notwithstanding, people affiliate both politically and religiously. Where is your freedom of choice? Live free. I do. So my journey into self-discovery removed me from the legal profession and church and ultimately from employment. I joined the ranks of the destitute. It's been quite a roller coaster ride. I went down like a submarine and plunged into the depths below the surface. For the first time in a long time, I thought about my age, and one thing I know for certain about myself was that I believed that women of a certain age belonged at home And here I was having to work every day to live paycheck to paycheck. That my destiny was much bigger than selling appliances in a big box retail store and living paycheck to paycheck. I decided enough was enough. Additionally, I had made a deathbed wish to my promise. I had made a deathbed promise to my mother that I would live in her house. As I said, I am a people pleaser. So I lived in her house in the country on family heir property. It was a lovely home in a serene surroundings, 20 miles away from civilization. The nearest pharmacy chain, dry cleaners, stores, and chain restaurants are what I'm referring to as civilization. The nearest gas station was 7 miles away. At nearly 30 years old, the house was beginning to require repairs and appliances as well. Living paycheck to paycheck was insufficient to cover the work upkeep that was required. It was really time for me to move on, but I resisted because I was going to keep my promise. So I was driven out, essentially. Expenses had mounted over the years, and the house that I had inherited, free and clear, was now the target of several mortgages. Over the 10 years that I lived in the home, I experienced the death of 2 automobiles, an oil tank, a refrigerator, washer dryer, water heater, toilet, heat pump, and air conditioner unit. Many of these expenses were covered by the money made available through mortgages. Spirit was unsettled. I felt the urge to move on with no particular destination in mind. And then I'd rationalize that perhaps it was something I'd do in the future, but not now. I continued to think about fulfilling my promise to my mom. Around this time, I developed an interest in energy manipulation. I have always had a fascination with spiritual practices. Witchcraft, as it's labeled, actually involves many different crafts and talents. There is flower medicine, which involves using the energies of flowers in healing, for example. Unfortunately, affiliations with some religions prohibit these practitioners from learning about these things for fear. Fear of being cursed, fear of sinning, fear of exploration, fear of knowing. Thankfully, I am free. After having read the Bible and listened to preachers of at least 5 denominations speak on the evils of witchcraft and divination, I can honestly understand their beliefs, opinions, and conclusions. I'm just grateful to be free. When I was young, I had my first introduction to the tarot when I was in middle school. An aunt of a friend read my cards. Being a discerning Christian, I kept notes of what she said would happen, and I had no sense that anything she said would occur. None of what she said ever occurred. She said I'd die around 60. I'm shooting for 100 at this time. No. I was shooting for 100 at that time. So I thought she was off about that. I'm shooting for 105 at this time. I've upped the ante. Anyway, I requested a Ouija board and I got one for Christmas. I purchased an encyclopedia on witchcraft when I was a teenager. Everything spiritual in nature fascinated me. I read about the distinction between good witches and bad witches. One summer, I went to the Smithsonian Folk Festival and got a reading from someone of the Yoruba tribe. He told me that I had a grandfather energy protecting me, that no harm will ever come to me. That's all that stood out. I believed him. There was something about how he honed in on this grandfather energy. Perhaps this is the basis for my ultimately being fearless when it comes to taking a leap of faith. I'm able to see now that every prayer has been answered, every wish fulfilled. It's as if my wishes are commands. I can see that now. The more specific you are, the better. Instead of thinking and praying for abuse to stop, think and pray for the abuse to stop right now. And let this be the last time, and also resolve within yourself, here comes the leap of faith, that with steps you are taking to secure your freedom from the abuse. What kind of steps can you take? Leave. If you're unable to leave because there are physical constraints stopping you Focus on the comfort of your abuser and focus on what you can do to ensure your comfort. Stop focusing on the comfort of your abuser and focus on what you can do to ensure your comfort. Research places you can relocate to. Call 211. And if you're despairing, call 988. If you think you're unable to leave, you will be. If you think you are able to leave, you will be. You are the captain of your ship. By keeping things clean and tidy, you are showing your appreciation by giving those things that you're cleaning and tidying up attention. This energy of appreciation is reflected back to you. So this is the meaning of cleanliness is next to godliness. The godliness is the good energy, the high vibes a good and neat environment give. All right, that's it for now. Thank you for checking in at the Struggle Inn. Please check, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll check with you on the next adventure.